anidees AI Crystal Cube ARV2 Dual Chamber Tempered Glass EATX/ATX PC Gaming Case with 5 RGB fans/2 LED strips, Black AICL Cube AR2. 5 mm tempered glass, 70% transmittance to show off the system. Support EATX, m-ATX, mini-ITX MB. Support 240/280 mm radiator in the top and front side. Support vertical graphic card, GPU max support 330 mm, CPU cooler max height 168 mm. Including RGB Fan X5 and LED strip X2, controlled by RF remote control. One the best cases I've ever built in. And I've built dozens and used every brand imaginable. The build quality and finish on this case is top notch. The glass side panels are super thick and look fantastic when installed. However, I wish there would have been an option for the transparent side panels at the time of purchase. I thoroughly enjoyed working with this case. One of my favorite things about the Crystal Cube is the fact it is made to accept all the way up to an EATX board and yet still have the small footprint it has and still be able to add two 240 mm radiators. It is made far better than cases costing twice as much. anidees is a great company and listens to customer feedback. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram. Great job, guys. Keep up the great work. There are a couple of photos where I completely changed things and did a rebuild. Those images are the newer version of my build. The images where my GPU backplates are yellow is the first version. anidees AI Crystal Cube RGB case arrived with no damage and was shipped quickly. Pros: the case is made well and looks great. The lighting through the tinted glass has a very cool effect. Cons: there is a fan controller built into the case but it is not tied into the RGB fans. This is a separate controller. In order to control the lighting and speed you have to reach around to the back of the case where there are 3 tiny buttons at the bottom of the case that you have no idea which one does what. Also, the RGB fans have a special fan connector on that only connects to the RGB hub. You cannot add a fan extension cable to them. I feel that they should have put more thought into this design. Would have been nice to be controllable through software on Windows or at least have the controls built into the front of the case where they are readable and accessible. These fans don't move a ton of air. Not really a design flaw since they are fairly quiet. Being quiet usually means you're giving up on airflow. Just something to be aware of. Generally for cooling they get the job done. The brightness isn't very intense. They tend to be fairly dim. This is good or bad depending on what you're after. I have Thermaltake blue LED ring fans on my 280 mm radiator. These are far more intense than the anidees RGB fans. Again, it would just be a personal preference on how bright you like your LED lights to be. The SSD mounting options leave a lot to be desired. You can mount one at the bottom of the case in the main compartment. Good luck getting cables to bend down to plug into it. The other option is to mount SSDs over top of the cable grommets preventing wire pass-through. There is also an SSD mounting spot over top of the 3.5 hard drive cage. Other than the last spot I just described, you may leave your SSD free-floating inside the same space as your PSU. Summary: overall this case looks really good when finished. I personally like the low intensity of the anidees RGB fans. The build quality is good. If you can get past some of the bad design choices, this is a pretty good case. This case is beautiful. It makes you want to make custom liquid cooling loops. I went from a plain white dishwasher case to this one, and it is so different having a case with this high quality. Pretty easy to build in, but I do have a few issues with its design. One, SSD mounting. Might just be my PSU, but it came with all 90-degree SATA power connectors. I ended up putting it on the outside of the drive cage because that's the only place that wouldn't bend my SSD's connectors. 2, PSU air intake. It is really not getting good airflow either way. You can mount it so that it's either taking air from against the glass, or from against the dividing wall for the 2 chambers. It gets basically no airflow. While playing intense games, it gets uncomfortably hot to the touch. What I really like about this case, 1. There is so much room to build in. You can fit so much in this case. I have a 12.5 graphics card, and the 212 of CPU heatsink, and they fit with extra room to spare. 2. Extremely dark glass. I have 6 plain white LED fans in my case, and it looks amazing both in the dark and when the room is fully lit. Very sleek. 3. Build quality. This thing is heavy duty. It's also heavy, but you probably shouldn't be carrying around a glass case anyways. 4. Modern features. 2 USB 3.0 ports. Fan speed control. Dust filters everywhere. Something that should have probably been here at this price point is a front USB-C port, though. This case is eventually going to house my Ryzen build when I get the components, and I can't wait to build in it again. I can happily recommend this case to someone wanting a tempered glass case, but doesn't want something as visually loud as other TG cases.